future trends, deep insights, industry leaders. This is the iGaming Next podcast with your host, Pierre Lindh.
This podcast is brought to you by Pragmatic Solutions, the leading iGaming PAM platform with a modular approach, including many benefits like a fast, secure, and scalable API-based platform, integrated with all major third-party products and services. Make sure you head over to Pragmatic Solutions and join our smart thinking. This podcast is brought to you by the Bombay Experience, defining the future of luxury gaming experiences from digital through to physical, seamlessly, flawlessly, exclusively. Visit bombay.io.
...2022 has been an exceptionally challenging year for Yolo. Can you just talk about the year so far? Obviously, there was the war breaking out in Ukraine. Crypto has had a difficult time. Yeah. You know, can you kind of talk a little bit more about the year from Yolo's perspective?
We start, let's say, Bombay Live, December last year. We've launched our second studio exactly in Kiev. And that was December last year. And 2 months later, the 24th of February, the invasion of Ukraine started. So imagine all that investment and all that, energy that we had over there. All of a sudden, we had to shut down.
Yeah.
You know? So that was the first big challenge that we faced. Following that, obviously, we had the evacuation of our stuff. And those local people who wanted to leave the country. Yeah. And we made it a point to take them out safely out of the country while the city was being bombarded. So I must say, me personally, I think it was the most challenging and the most dramatic operations that I've run in my entire career. Because
oh my God.
When you have human beings, you have the life of people, and even with their kids, they were living with their kids, so.
Jesus.
It was quite a operation to take them out of there, and the situation was so volatile. Things were changing literally every few seconds.
Wow.
So you have people in a van, and they had to reroute the roads because all of a sudden the bridge is closed. They face the army, they don't let them pass. So it was, we had people they had the army about 500 meters away. There was you get into that. And you have to take instant decisions. You don't have time to consult, nothing at all. You just have to take instant decisions to. So but over there I've seen a lot the courage and the determination of these Ukrainians out there. Amazing. And actually I would like to send my big support to our own tech-op guy who is still in the trenches there.
Really?
Yeah, Alexander, he's there defending his country, one of our team. So he's still there. We're all behind him. But it was quite a challenging thing for us, for Yolo Ventures. It was a big headed band. And then the war also had an impact on the other project that we had ongoing in Estonia, where we have the Bombay Club and even the Bombay Hotel that are being works in progress, and put it this way. And the majority of the construction workers in Estonia were Ukrainian nationals. So as soon as the war broke up, they went back to their country to defend their nation, So we ended up in Estonia. We had a shortage of construction workers. The prices went sky high.
All right, it's like doubled overnight.
So, and overnight. So we had, these projects had slowed down because we didn't have enough. Obviously, there wasn't enough personnel around in the country. So we suffered that. But overall, what we did is, and the good thing about Yolo is we stepped back, and it was time to regroup and take certain decisions, obviously. Immediately we decided that we suspended the operations in Ukraine, and we immediately started looking for an alternative location to continue with our expansion of our Bombay Live product. So we did that, and just this past summer we opened our second studio in Poland, and very soon we shall be announcing another studio opening. So it will be official in the coming days, hopefully. So so we stepped back from that, and we've regrouped, and we've taken such decisions. Obviously, the land-based had to be delayed again. It was basically beyond our control, but we're getting there now. Hopefully, 2023 will be the year where we launch both the Bombay Club, which is an exclusive club for high rollers, and even the Bombay Hotel in Tallinn.
Right. Just to go back a bit again to the war in Ukraine when it broke out last winter. How was it? Can you describe the morning, obviously, when the attack happened? How was that internally in Yolo, and when did you take decisions to act and so on? Like, how can you describe the atmosphere in the company?
Yeah, we had a plan before. We made plans for shelter for our staff. So if it happens, we had a shelter ready where we had, I don't know how many liters of water, food, we had blankets, we had batteries and torches, so that if it happens, we were ready from that aspect. And even we had an evacuation plan in place. But I must say, irrespective of how well prepared you are, nothing prepares you for the actual horrific tragedy of war, because it is a human tragedy, literally. And I was constantly in touch, either via video calls or phone, with our guy Anatoly there, who heads our operations there, constantly, and managing the whole situation, because it's escalated so fast. I remember receiving this call at 3:30 in the morning, and he told me, and don't forget, 4 hours before we had a conference video call, because there was a birthday dinner of the staff taking place in a Kiev restaurant, and I joined them via video call. Everything was fine, they're enjoying, having drinks, and then it escalated like that, and immediately we had I remember what we call the emergency Telegram channel between us, myself, Tim, and at the time Christine also, and where I informed them, listen, the first bombing happened in Kiev, and instantly we said, let's start the evacuation, let's go as planned. Obviously, when we say let's go as planned, is easy way to saying it, but nothing really actually went as planned, because you never know. It was chaos, basically. People running, just find a way how
it's
to
like what Mike Tyson usually says. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Exactly. That was the case. And one thing I remember from Tim was that do whatever it takes to take our people out, to keep them safe. Those who want to leave their country, do whatever it takes. And then when it started, to put transport together, our staff, obviously, don't forget, only women could leave, because the guys couldn't leave there. And they came with their kids. We had babies, some came with their pets. They only came with a backpack, nothing much. So I remember we had our first bus, which was meant to take the whole group. But then, while people were coming to the location, from the pickup location, there were air raids. People got trapped in subways. They couldn't leave. Our driver got nervous. He didn't want to drive. So we had to convince him on the spot to leave. And I had to take a decision. I had about, 15 people on board. I had others on the way. And I had to take the decision, listen, leave with what we have. And we'll figure out for the rest, because you never know how long the air raid takes. So... And on the way, they're leaving Kiev and they're calling me, we have to change the road, because they were planning to go from one bridge. All of a sudden, they see it's blocked.
Yes.
Then you have to find another routes. And in the middle of air, it's like you're hearing the sirens going at the back.
Jesus.
And these are women with kids in a bus.
Yes.
And cats. So yeah, it was challenging. And then even when they arrived at the border, Polish border, there was a long, massive queue. And don't forget, it was February, below zero temperature. So you have women with kids there. Although we gave them some food supplies and water in the bus, but you never know how long the queue takes, and they took hours. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 6 or 8 hours.
Yes.
Middle of the night, and the bus couldn't. They don't drive through the border. They drop them away, like 100 meters away, and they have to walk. And then there is the process to pass through the border, and then once you cross the border, then even again the bus, where we sent a bus from Tallinn down to Poland to wait for them to take them to Tallinn, and again. There were, I think, if I'm not mistaken, about 200 or 300 meters to get to these buses. And our team over there, they were so exhausted, super exhausted, and they couldn't really walk. And I'm on the phone with them, myself and Anatoly on the phone, to encourage them, like, come on, guys, you're last bit, go for it. And then they actually literally carried each other, helped each other, because they're super exhausted. I remember it was about, I think, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh. Super cold, with the kids. And it was quite dramatic, I must say.
Yes.
And then we had others that we organized other trips, because we had still remaining people, and we couldn't find any transport. Nothing, no vehicles, nothing at all. Yeah. So even eventually we were trying to buy buses over there ourselves. And, but then we found how somehow or another we managed, and it was, and the Yolo, what we did then, once we had our team did an amazing job. We collected a lot of clothes and toys and nappies. I remember the head office there was a mountain, literally, a mountain of this stuff, and it was amazing. Really amazing. And then we provided them, obviously, accommodation. Those over there that came from, we gave them a job also in Tallinn within Yolo. We even provided them psychological assistance. Oh. They came from a war zone, so you can imagine. Not everyone takes it the same way. We had cases where, they were like, they just blocked themselves, or they were constantly going through a trauma. So we provided all those services afterwards. But it was, Yolo, we're very proud of the family that we have. Yeah, we created that culture, and that at that instant we really showed this solidarity thing. Yeah. And both Tim and Maria really opened their hands, like no questions asked, no budgets, just keep them safe. And that's what we did. Nowadays, most of them went back to Kiev. Others moved on to other countries where they had families either in Germany or Poland or, But we created that safety bridge for them.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, it was Mark Cuban who said during the COVID crisis, he said that companies' brand perception will be judged based on how they acted during COVID. And you saw at that time, obviously, some organizations, they face COVID by doing massive layoffs, kind of hibernate, lower the cost, and so on and so forth. Whereas other companies, they chose to safeguard their employees and make sure that they are safe first, and then think about the company second.
Exactly.
And similar to here, where obviously you guys chose to kind of drop focus on the business for a little bit to ensure that the employees, the staff, is safeguarded. And I think that at the end of the day, that speaks volume of who you are as an organization. And I think very much that how companies act during these difficult times really, it showcases who they really are. Yes. because in good times it's easy to be good to everyone. It's if everything's going great, of course, we do things for our employees. But when things turn against you, how do you act then? Yes, and so you should have all the credit in the world for how you acted.
Yolo did very well, I think, and we really did well. And I think it's we were not the type of company that we put banners on LinkedIn showing solidarity. We actually really did it,
Yes.
in practice. And I think and it's part of the creed, the fundamentals of Yolo.
Yes.
It's putting people first. I mean, even nowadays, I know there are some companies who are back really full operations with the studios there, but people comes first. We don't never know when the next missile is going to drop, And if it's even a chance 1 in a million, we wouldn't take it to put our people in danger. We still have a crew there, developers for one of our companies, One Touch there. We still have an office there. They're still operating there, even although now it's quite challenging with the massive power cuts that they have.
Yeah.
At the moment, I think it's 4 hours on and 4 hours off, something like
that. Oh, really?
That. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And there were some difficulties with even supplies and water supplies.
Yeah.
But they're managing. They're really. That's why I appreciate. I mean, this tragedy, I think, really showed how determined the Ukrainians are.
Yeah.
I mean, they really go all the way, and they're so proud, and that's what gives us that energy, to support them even further.
It is, if there is a silver lining to this, and we work, our developers are Ukrainian as well, and many of our partners and many of the people in our sphere, and if there is a silver lining to this, it is the fact that the whole nation has come together, and kind of the energy that has been born through this conflict is just absolutely incredible.
Even the neighboring countries, I mean, we Estonia, obviously, Poland, Latvia, Lithuania,
banded together.
All really we're one big, massive family. Solidarity. I mean, the things we've experienced in Poland was outstanding.
Yes.
And even Estonia made it as a country, facilitated the way to integrate them as soon as possible. These war refugees, I mean, they were getting permits like in a few hours, and that's it. It's really fun. And even nowadays, you go to Tallinn, you find everywhere you Ukrainian flags and Estonian flags next to each other.
Amazing.
It's a nice solidarity. It's like very nice brotherhood.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big tragedy, but I think that the Ukrainians, as we go into the next 5-10 years, 15 years, they're gonna come out with so much incredible energy and motivation to rebuild their country and make it better than it has ever been before. That it's inspiring to see from the Ukrainians, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
So Jose, just zooming in on Yolo a bit further, we've been privileged of being part of this ecosystem now for the last 2 years with iGaming Next, and the perception that I have of Yolo is that you are, in a very unique way, trying to build almost like a self-sufficient ecosystem within iGaming, with organizations and projects and companies that kind of facilitate the whole iGaming industry. And I don't think there is any other example of any other organizations that are trying to do the same thing to this extent, where there's so many organizations that are involved in this ecosystem. Obviously, you're kind of in the middle of this project to build this ecosystem, but can you talk about what are the goals exactly? Do you see this? Do you see what I see as well, that it is an ecosystem that you are trying to create with Yolo? And again, what are the goals, and how will this ecosystem look like, do you think?
We ask a very simple question, which is, how can we make the life of a casino manager as easy as possible? How can we make his or her life easy? And because we put ourselves in that position, and within our ecosystem that we have within Yolo, we have our own B2C brands, as you well know. So we experience ourselves the challenges of an operation of an online casino. We know what is required. And so we are putting together all the services and that can make life easy for our partners, for our B2B partners. So we have the distribution arm, which is Hub 88. which is distribution. But again, even Hub 88, it's not just a distributor. We're taking even now a step further, where we're going into creating the Hub Wallet, which is an online payment system, so that we facilitate payments, P2P payments, between all parties. We automate as much as possible. Then you have the content part of things. We have our own studios where we can basically develop exclusive games for our operators. We've just launched recently the Rapper, which is a platform on which small studios can build their games on our RGS. Then we have also within the Yolo, we have Yolo investments, as you really know.
Yes.
Know very well. The investments we do are quite strategic. We don't just pick and choose any other company, we always choose. They've done amazing job where they pick and choose that they fit well within the ecosystem that we're trying to build. So we have, like, for the likes of, for example, Proto. Proto is a company which has artificial intelligence customer support, which operators can make use of. Those are within our ecosystem, which we can provide them. Like we have even a VPN service specifically for VIP players through the company Blob VPN. We even have the banking system through AIMS. So all this, we have even now investments in interactive again for content, right. And even Betigy, another service that provides with for content automation. All the stuff. So we're building all this ecosystem. So like a one-stop shop basically for the casino manager. Plus Bombay is standing out.
Yes.
Our Bombay concept, it's a Bombay experience basically, because Bombay is not just the Bombay live product, but it goes beyond that. It's the Bombay experience is specifically a niche market for VIP players, where we're not just giving them that amazing experience online, but it's going beyond, going to the land-based side of things. An exclusive club for these VIPs, and even now we're at sea. Also, we have this. They can continue this luxury experience from the hub from the Bombay. From a perspective, we can go into some details later on this. But yeah, this is type of ecosystem that the Yolo Ventures, the B2B side of things, we're putting together. It's a lot. You can imagine it's a lot of projects going on. It's mind blowing, So I have a lot of nights that I can't sleep. I can't sleep because of the adrenaline of Tim's ideas and
is it a double-edged sword though, because there are so many different projects within the same organization that are all exciting, but does that also lead you to not be focused on other projects as well?
Believe me, very focused. As long as you have the right team around you, you've put together a good team, and we even recently, to be more focused, we've recently sort of created groups specifically for the online, and another group team for the land-based and the marine. So we're gonna focus. We have focus groups. We have a brilliant team. Who's handling the live product, who's handling the studios, who's handling the aggregation side of things, Hub, there's One Touch. So there's a lot. And then the supporting services that we have internally, the legal team, the finance, the BI, there's a lot going on. But as long as you have the right team together, very flat structure, but we're very much focused on being transparent and a high level of communication, and that's how you keep on going. Right. You're moving, full transparent, no hidden agendas, no egos.
Yes,
we leave those on the table. And Tim always says there's no dickhead policy.
Yes, no dickheads allowed.
Yeah, no dickheads allowed, and and we stick to that. We stick to that a lot.
So, what happens when Tim comes up with an idea? Because I can, as an as an idea machine that he is, he comes with an idea. Okay, we need to do this, we need to do that. How what's your first feeling when Tim says, "I have an idea"?
First of all, these ideas rarely happen in a meeting room. In a meeting room, we only discuss challenges most of the time. But these ideas normally come up around the poker table. Normally on a Friday or any other day that we'll be playing poker. And
Right.
It's amazing how it happens, it's the dynamics, how it creates. And you get caught into this adrenaline, this hype. Let's do this, the brainwaves. I don't know what comes out of his, and we're exchanging ideas of that. Let's do this, and it will be followed up then within a day or two by either a Telegram channel recapping what we've discussed while playing poker, and then we come up with a plan to action them. We filter them because there's things we say, okay, no, let's rethink this, all right? But yeah. Well, he dreams a lot, but nice practical dreams, and we always then sit down, we put the teams together, and we see how we can make it happen. Our creed, we say fun, fast, and fair. We have fun, yes, we're fast to deliver, and we make things in a fair way. Sometimes we say, we change it to fast. Because in our industry, how fast it is.
Yes.
And the thing is, the project that we have, we get so enthusiastic about them. So you can get carried into that overdrive actually, to constant deliver yesterday as much as possible. Mm. But obviously one has to be careful not to rush things and to deliver in a timely manner. But the feeling is amazing. I mean, it's super exciting. Whenever we have such sessions, I most probably I have a sequence of 2 sleepless nights because you try to put things together and then you try to meet with the teams and plan to deliver.
Is that the idea behind the business strategy overall, the addiction to new ideas, rather than trying to specifically create some very specific ecosystem? Is it the adrenaline, as you mentioned, around the poker table? You come up with a new idea and then the excitement of creating that idea.
Yeah, we have an overall strategy, we have the vision.
Yes.
As long as these ideas fit within that vision, fine. I mean, we do come with ideas that sometimes are out of the vision. Our industry, I compare a lot. In fact, last week we have these takeoffs, what we call, when you have new incomers for the group, and we do these takeoff sessions, and I compare a lot with sailing. With sailing, when the wind changes, you need to change tack. Mm. And in our industry, conditions change, and you need to adapt. In fact, I always say strategies and business plans should be always written in pencil, so you constantly change things. But we have the vision there, and we do change plans. Mm. We do, because that's how the industry is. That's how the industry thinks. I mean, you never know; things changed overnight. Especially when us ourselves, we're very crypto oriented, and then certain things change in a particular jurisdiction. And you have to adapt instantly, and you have to have the right structure in place to react fast, or else try to anticipate certain changes, and you'll be ready to make that necessary change as soon as possible. Right. So that's how we do things over there. And what big fun, believe me.
Yeah, yes. I've gotten small glimpses into the world, and I can agree. It's a fun atmosphere to be in. What is the vision then?
The vision. Well, from B2B perspective, we want to offer quite a wide range of services to all our B2B partners in the gaming industry. And we're trying to put together from the financial perspective, financial services, using blockchain technology and cryptos, even fiat, because we believe this technology is a game changer within our industry, especially when it comes to fraud, when it comes to KYC, We believe a lot in that, even cost savings, because transactions, will be cheaper and faster. But also, we want to provide this unique experience. And that's where Bombay, I think, plays a very big part of it. We're creating this exclusive club for VIP players,
Yes.
coming from either online or even land-based, and we give them this unique experience. That's why we're doing this exclusive club. It's members only. It's not open for everyone. And if you want to be part of this club, you need to show that you are really worth of being part of this club. I've seen the plans of this club, and even the luxury treatment we give on our beauty. My colleague Anton Jolken, he's head of our hospitality, chief of hospitality,
Yes.
and he calls our Bombay boat the beauty, and he's really right. And we're going to offer such exclusive, unique experience for VIP players, which any operator can make use of to treat their VIP players.
Right.
Both at the club, even at the boutique hotel that we're opening in Tallinn. Don't forget, this is a heritage site. Tallinn is a heritage site. It's I believe it's a 16th century building, which we're restoring. A lot of work involved, especially being an old property. We have very meticulous work being done over there, being a historical site. It's going to be an amazing luxury experience for our partners. And even we're going to have, even how we do things, like we were going to have our Bombay app, where you can do cashless transactions within our Bombay ecosystem, in the club and even in the hotel.
Right.
So we built that ourselves, our team. We try to do everything ourselves. Right.
So I spoke to Tim a while ago, and he told me about his fishing boat.
Yeah,
that he calls it with a hint of sarcasm, I suppose. Yeah. Can you talk about how this idea came to be?
It's the experience, the luxury experience with what we're transforming on this boat. The player can extend a luxury experience from being treated, let's say, a luxury lifestyle. He has an opportunity to spend a couple of days on a luxury yacht and network with other people within the industry. It's currently sailing. It's out there in the waters. It's finished. We've done all the refurbishing for the boat, and it's out there. We already had our first customers on board.
Right.
Already there, and it was amazing. They can drink our own Bombay champagne also.
Which is also another thing that you have. Yes, you have a wine yard.
It's our thing. That's another thing that we have. So it's about the experience, and it's going to extend once we have the club and the hotel ready, also in Tallinn. It will even continue to extend further there.
Yeah. I just want to let you know that the second week of January, I don't have any plans, so I don't know if the boat is.
The calendar is getting quite busy, I must say, already for next year. But
I don't know if you're looking for a dishwasher or something. I don't know.
Actually, we're planning to stop on the island here in Malta. We'll get her here. We'll let you know about the calendar.
Exactly. I'm very flexible. Dishwasher, I can scrub the deck. Don't worry. I'll just to put it out there. So Jose, I want to also talk about the live studio project itself with Bombay. Mm-hmm. In the last, say, 2 years, a lot of live studios has been launched. A lot of new studios have launched, and I suppose it is a bit of a reaction to the success of Evolution that have grown to become, the second biggest gambling company in the world. At some point, they were the biggest gambling company in the world, massive profits, so on and so forth. However, it seems that all the studios are trying to compete with price as their only USP. And it seems to be difficult for a lot of studios to gain traction. However, correct me if I'm wrong, but Bombay seemed to not be focused on price necessarily, but the VIP player. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit more about what is the idea behind Bombay Live Studio and how do you separate yourself from the competition?
Yeah, I mean, from Bombay perspective, we stay away from any price war. It's not our intention. It's not our intention to compete with Evolution. I mean, that's not our objective at all. First of all, I think it will be difficult to compete with Evolution 1, with the domination that they have in the market nowadays.
Right.
But as you rightly said, Bombay is all about the VIP experience. We have network tables, yes, but now we're going to the next level where we brand the product for the operator specifically for their VIP players, and that's why I'm saying, as I said before, it extends from the online experience to the VIP. We can treat them as a nice luxury experience on the boat. Can continue doing that in the hotel as a not a carrot. I don't know how it's an extension of the experience, and even the club in Estonia is going to be amazing over there, where we can also have private tables over there. I mean, with even a cigar room or whiskey room, that luxury experience for the VIP players that I don't think there's any other company in the industry that provides such A1 5-star or 6-star experience to such VIP players. So yes, it's a niche market that we're addressing. We're focusing on that. We're focused on that. And this is something that will evolve much further next year, 2023. Now that the first step, the boat is out sailing out there, and next year we'll add the other 2 assets out there. But this is how we want to differentiate ourselves. It's not about pricing. It's prices. I think it's to compete on pricing is very short-term strategy.
It's a race to the bottom.
Yeah, I don't believe in races, because there's no a race with a finishing line. It's a finite thing, Right. We don't. It's a race without a finishing line. Let's put it this way. Okay, it's about the experience, and I'm sure as the coming years, we will continue, and within our group, we'll definitely come up with further ideas how to extend further such experience, the Bombay experience. So that's how we differentiate ourselves. Even the training, we're giving specific training to our dealers, both online and even for the land-based. To specifically handle big VIP players. So yeah, it's very, very niche. That's our objective.
Yes. Scale seems to be something that is important for a live studio to become profitable. Obviously, Evolution have achieved their massive profits by introducing scale. You are focusing on a niche. Are you able to find the good profitability within Bombay without having to focus on the scale?
I mean, the scalability within Bombay is more in the technology rather than having, 7 studios worldwide with I don't know how many tables. Yes. I mean, we're investing a lot in technology here. We're going to maximize the potential of the green screen technology, which we shall soon be launching over there. That's the type of scalability we're focused on.
Okay.
We're not focused on getting properties, in different locations. Yeah. Don't forget, the VIP market is not the type of market size that Evolution is really after, like massive network tables, a lot of players with a lot of game shows and that type of thing. The VIP players I believe is a closed, quite a unique group of people, and it doesn't go into the, I think, thousands of players. It's quite a unique group. We know what they need. We know what their requirements are. We're going to make their life easy to play and entertain themselves in a luxury way.
Yes. It's an interesting point for sure. You're definitely coming into the scene with a different idea than most other live studios, which is interesting to see. Jose, we talked in the beginning of this podcast of the fact that 2022 has been a very challenging year. And the crypto markets have faced massive headwinds, of course, as we know, during the year as well, with a few collapses of some exchanges. Last week, FTX, of course, fell apart, and this has kind of ripple effects through the whole crypto ecosystem. Has the and at the same time, obviously, YOLO and its mission is very centered around the crypto ecosystem to some extent. Right. Has this presented a lot of challenges to you guys during the year?
I mean, I wouldn't say challenges. I think this thing that happened the recent days with the FTX, first of all, it's not a crypto story, and it's not a blockchain story. These are small group of fraudsters, to my knowledge. In my opinion, they're fraudsters who used crypto to fraud people. Okay, and unfortunately, this unfortunate event that happened of FTX sent out this basically eroded the trust that all of us and all the crypto industry has been building through the recent years, and it should not stop us. I know for sure that the crypto industry now should go into a rehab period to go through a cleansing part of things and get rid of these individuals and these speculators that are damaging the industry, because the industry as such, crypto and blockchain, once one understands the benefit, the utility of it, it will make life so easier for everyone. And I'm not talking only about the gaming industry, in any industry. Okay, recently we've seen stories, for example, in Lebanon, and even certain countries in Africa, where thanks to blockchain and crypto, people who are suffering due to the traditional economy, traditional finance practices, thanks to crypto, now they're getting back gradually to a normal life. So by using cryptos, so what I'm seeing is now the industry, it's good, on a hindsight, it's good that this thing happened, mind you, because it gave a shake-up. We know there are these worms, and it's time to clean. So that's why I said we need to go to a rehab here, regroup, and as an industry, it's a matter also of time to educate more people. In fact, even YOLO, for example, we have this learncrypto.com. It's a free website where one can log in over there and learn more about the advantages and the benefits of this industry. It's time to educate more people, even within the industry. What scares me, I think, over here is that I think this is going to push, or is going to speed up things to regulate more the crypto industry. And I think there should be lessons taken from the gaming industry, because as we all know, mind you, I'm all in for regulation, but then over-regulation suffocates that respective industry. And we've experienced that in gaming, especially in Europe, where the legislations were drafted by people who had no clue, or else didn't know the dynamics of the industry, and unfortunately the industry suffered from that. And what I'm scared of now is that same thing might happen in the crypto industry, but I believe that because of the nature of blockchain and crypto, because it's a the concept of a decentralized financial system, and this decentralized system over there, the actual code of blockchain and self-regulation will supersede what us humans do on a piece of paper, because the way blockchain works, you can't mess around with the code, basically. So as it is, if, for example, this FTX thing, they had it was done as a centralized system,
right,
which goes against, not aligned with what blockchain does. Blockchain is a decentralized, but they've done way like a normal traditional bank does.
Yes.
or they did one with the token, they misused people's money. That's very traditional financial. So although they use crypto and blockchain, they basically use traditional way how to fraud people. So if they had done, for example, introduce FOPs, proof of exposure, and the code limited that, for example, the exposure cannot go further than 5% of 10% of your portfolio, that would have saved all this hassle, or even segregated the players' funds, not mixed players' funds with something else, Exactly. And if all this data is in the code, all this would never happened, So I think now the crypto, I think we need to do, this rehab period. It's going to be, I think, a tough winter. Yes, there might be people who might have lost some trust in the industry. So there might be some shortage of liquidity into the system, and maybe even prices might go down. But listen, this is a long obstacle race. During this race, a lot of people joined in because of the hype. Now, most probably, we have less people involved, but at the end of the day, the end price of this race, it's still this nice big pot, because we believe in it, and it's here to stay. Whatever they do, it's here to stay. This technology is going to be a game changer to the gaming industry and to the financial services. And especially now, we see the financial turmoil that is going worldwide at the moment, This is going to be a game changer. I know most probably people from certain institutions are going to use this excuse of FTX. You see, we told you so, you can't trust crypto, you can't block blockchain. But it wasn't about blockchain or actually cryptos at all. They masqueraded, they covered up, they used that as an excuse to fraud people. But nobody messed around with any blockchain code here. Nobody messed around with cryptos here. So exactly, but I'm sure they're gonna use that. But that's why we need to regroup and get away the skeletons from the closet, clean up, and educate people. And we at Yolo, we're really, really, really pushing for that. Even whoever joins the group, it's part of the process. Again, Learn Crypto is out there, learncrypto.com. It's free. People can go there and learn about the benefits in real life. It's not about coding blockchain. It's more about the practical utility.
Yes.
It's like when we use Telegram, we use all these apps, but we don't know exactly how the software works at the back.
No,
we don't need to know that.
We don't need.
You need to see the utility, how it's going to make my life easier, and that's what it's all about.
One of my favorite quotes from iGaming Next Valletta a month and a half ago came from Tim himself in a panel that he participated in, where he said, blockchain is not a transaction method, it is a state of mind. Yeah. And I heard that quote and I just, wait a minute, what does he mean by that? The more I thought about it, the more confused I got, but also the more I liked the quote. I don't know, it was something magical about that I really
it is a state of mind, because when you understand the potential of this technology, even in conjunction with what's coming up when we talk about Web3, this is going to change literally societies, the way the way we live nowadays. With Web 2 that we have at the moment, I mean, all our data basically is managed. What we feed into the web is all managed by these big enterprises, big companies. Web 3 is going to change that, where people will be more in control. Yeah, you decide. It will be more in control. And blockchain industry basically can eliminate corruption, fraud, simplify KYC processes, eliminate middlemen, eliminate the speculators that we have around. Because what we've seen, for example, 2008, Lehman, the Lehman story, what happened, all that collapse, Yes. And what FTX happened, mind you, is very similar to that, with the main difference that governments at that time used people's money to bail them out, while in this case not. Yes. It's not the case. But the blockchain can eliminate all this stuff, and there is proper democratic processes in each and every state, in each and every country. and where the people, I think, will have a better voice, will build more trust into the system nowadays with this technology. That's why it's going to be a game changer. It takes time, mind you, because it's a change of mindset. It's a change of mindset. Don't forget, we've been so many decades knowing this traditional way of how to do things, especially in the financial world, you know. But now it's time to go to the next level, and that's why we always say these are exciting times. Living in this period, being involved in companies, involved in such technology, for me, it's mind-blowing. Yes, it's challenging. We're going through this challenging time, but it's a process that we have to go through, and I'm super sure and adamant that this is going to definitely, for future generations, it's going to be a life changer, for sure. Even in our, mind you, in our lifetime, because we're not talking here a century down the line. No, we're talking about a few years down the line here. So
brilliant. Jose, a last question for you here today. What will Yolo Group look like in, say, 5 to 10 years' time, do you think, with the explosive growth that you're seeing? Now we're trying to look into the hourglass here. What do you see in the future?
Well, I will need to dig more into Tim's brain here. But no, I mean, definitely. I think we're going to be one of the main players, and we are already there. Main players within the gaming industry, but it will expand further than gaming. We always love to disrupt the status quo. We always try to put the right people together to constantly innovate, to do things differently in the right way. And I think the blockchain and Web3, we will be, I believe, the main organization, the main ecosystem that's going to make a difference. I think we're going to be one of the leaders, for sure. I won't say the leaders, because I hope there will be others to join this journey. We don't want to be on our own here, because we want a healthy ecosystem here. We don't want to be exclusive. Yeah. So, but definitely, Yolo Ventures, for sure, will be one of the main players in this life-changing technology, for sure. Being it gaming, being it finance, will definitely be one of the at the forefront.
Yeah.
You know, Tim, definitely we're gonna have to play a lot of poker hands, for sure, to
figure it out.
To figure it out. But we're on the right track.
Absolutely,
we're on the right track. So definitely, that's where we want to be. There, we want to be one of the major players out there that make a difference.
Absolutely. In 1997, Steve Jobs, he launched the marketing campaign after relaunching Apple called Think Different. Yeah. Classic campaign. And obviously Apple came from the side trying to innovate in tech. And if there is a comparison within the iGaming industry to what Apple did and how they established themselves in the tech industry, I think it is Yolo Group who is trying to do things different in this industry. So thank you so much, Jose, for giving us your time today. It's been a pleasure, and it's fantastic to work with you guys overall, and keep innovating.
Yeah. Thank you for having me here, and mind you, well done for the new studio here. It's really amazing.
It's very cozy here, isn't it?
Yeah, really nice. Well done.
Thank you so much, Jose.
Thank you.